Hi, it's Al here from the Rider Firm, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your tubeless tyres. Our wheels come with tubeless tape already fitted, but we're going to assume that we're fitting new tape here. So first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be cleaning the rim so we can apply new rim tape. And we're going to be using some paper towel or some rags and some alcohol or degreaser for this. Then we can fit our rim tape. This needs to be a couple of millimeters wider than the rim bed. And then we're going to be using a sharp pointy object such as this small Phillips screwdriver. We can use a tiny Allen key, a bradawl, a cocktail stick, that kind of thing. Then we're going to fit our valve. Then we're going to fit our tyre, hopefully by hand, but we have some tyre levers here should it prove to be a bit stubborn. Once we've got our tyre on the rim, then we're going to be putting some sealant inside of it. So we have our sealant here, and then we're going to inflate our tyre. We're going to wear some safety glasses for this, just in case. And our first line of attack will be our trusty track pump. And if that fails, then we have a booster here. It's a tubeless tyre inflator, which will help to deliver a big shot of air to get your tyres seated. If you're in a pickle, when you're out and about on the road or on the trails, you can use a CO2 canister as well. So firstly, we're going to clean the rim of our wheel. So we've got some paper towel here, covered in alcohol, and we're going to clean that rim bed to make sure that our tubeless tape sticks to it nicely. Once we've wiped that down, we're going to make sure it's dried completely before we fit our tape. So now we're going to fit our rim tape. Rim bed's nice and clean and dry. This tape, we're going to start about 10 centimeters past the valve, and we're going to run over the valve all the way around the wheel and then end about here, about 10 centimeters past the valve. That's going to give us a double layer at the valve. So to start with, we're going to push the tape into the rim bed, make sure it's central, and firm it down with your thumb, or you could use a rag to do this. And then as we apply the tape, we're pulling it tightly and we're smoothing it down with our thumb as we work our way around the rim. It's important that it stays central to the rim bed and that there's no crinkles, because this could cause an air leak. So we're back at the valve. I'm just going to smooth that tape down, make sure it's properly stuck in place. Once you've done that, you can run your fingers around the edge of the rim. What we're doing here is just making sure that the tape's well stuck down at the edge. Do it on both sides. You can do this with your fingers or with a rag. If you've got nails, you can hook them in behind the little step on the rim. And there we go, that's the rim tape fitted. Next we're going to fit our valve. So locate the hole in the rim and making sure your pointy object goes straight into the middle of the hole. Pierce a hole in the rim tape. Take the valve, remove the valve cap, nip the lock nut down so you don't bend it as you push it through the rim. Remove the lock nut and push it through the tape and into the rim. Then you can add your lock ring, spin that into place, but don't tighten it yet. So before tightening the valve, we're just going to add a little bit of sealant around the valve with our little dropper bottle, and then we're pushing the valve into the rim with your thumb nice and hard, and then you can tighten up that lock ring, and that should provide a really good seal. Next up, we're fitting the tyre. So we've got two things to consider regarding how we fit the tyre. First of all is the direction of the tread. So a lot of tyres will have a directional tread, and this should be stamped on the sidewall. So make sure you get that correct to start with. And next up, you want to line up the logo with the valve. It helps if you're trying to find your valve in a hurry, and it looks pro as well. So here we go, we're fitting one bead to start with. The first bead should go on quite easily, and then we're moving on to the second bead. And like I said earlier, we're trying to do this without tyre levers if we can. And we're fitting this nearly all the way around. We're just leaving a bit at the bottom because that's where we're going to add our sealant. When we fit our sealant, it's important to make sure that it's been shaken up properly, especially if it's in a big bottle, just because if there's any particles inside the sealant, it needs to be dispersed in amongst the liquid. So we're going to add this into the tyre. The amount that you use will depend on the sealant that you're using and also the size of the tyre. So starting from around 30mm for a smaller road tyre up to say 100mm for a big 29er tyre on a mountain bike. Once you've put the sealant into the tyre, then rotate the wheel so the sealant ends up at the bottom, and then we can fit the last part of our bead. Make sure that the tyre is positioned right in the middle of the well of the rim. This will give you the most amount of slack available and will make it easier to fit that last bit of bead that you have here. If you struggle to fit the tyre by hand, there can be some very tight tyre and rim combinations, then it's okay to use a tyre lever, but just make sure that you use it in between the spokes. If you use it right next to the spoke, there is a chance that you could damage the rim tape with the end of the tyre lever, could pop a hole in it, and that would cause a leak. To create a really good seal, one tip is that you can apply, if you've got one of these little dropper bottles, a very small amount of sealant around the bead of the tyre. If you do this on both sides, then that will really help to give you an excellent seal once the tyre is inflated. So next up, we're going to inflate the tyre. Our bead's lubricated with sealant. The tyre is definitely sitting either side of the valve, so we're not just pumping air into the atmosphere. Undo the lock nut on the valve, push your pump in place, and we're trying to get as much air as possible as quickly as we can into the tyre. So the technique is to pump as fast as you can, basically. So here we go, see if we can get it seated. Okay, so that's gone up first time. So this tyre has seated on the rim with no dramas whatsoever, went up with a track pump, nice and easy. A lot of that is down to the preparation, the way that you fit the tape and the way that you add the sealant to the tyre, to the bead, etc. So it looks as though it's all seated correctly. We're checking this line on the tyre around the rim. It's equally spaced on both sides, so it looks perfect. We'll also give it a spin and we'll just check that there's no undulations and that tyre is fitted and seated correctly. Once you're happy that that's the case, then you want to inflate it to your preferred riding pressure, and it's a good idea to go out riding on your wheels as soon as possible, obviously. Not only is it fun, but it'll help to seal your tyres properly. It will distribute that sealant around the tyre and help to seal any leaks. Now we're just going to wind the lock nut onto the valve, add the valve cap, and that's ready to go into our bike and out onto the road. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye bye.